We welcome you to the Paradise Coast, where we bring you an enticing late-season USL League One fixture and the third and final clash of the year between FC Naples and Greenville Triumph. Tonight's match is presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare Systems, care for every goal. We say hello and welcome to the Paradise Coast Sports Complex. I'm Sam Goldfarb, and it's an FC Naples squad that enters tonight in flying form. Unbeaten in the last 8 in USL League One play, and excellent on both ends of the pitch. Very balanced, defensively sound. That's been their bread and butter all year, but going forward, they've provided a bevy of attractive-looking goals on the other end. One of the best, most well-rounded squads in League One that is 11 points above the playoff line. And their opponents tonight, well, they're on the opposite end of things. 3 points south of the playoff cut line in Greenville. The last 3 matches have really struggled in league play. No wins, just 1 point over that span. And the last 2 matches suffering heartbreaking defeats against the likes of Texoma as well as Portland. Both matches that Rick Wright said to me he feels like they gave away. Tonight they enter with their backs against the wall. They need some sort of response to kickstart their playoff push. It's now time for our Players to Watch, presented by Parker Hudson Homes. And who else but Carson Henderlong to lead the line for FC Naples. 11 goals, which is tied for the league lead atop the Golden Boot race, and someone who's just the complete package up front. Runs so well on the counter, but also flashing his set-piece prowess with his brace against Westchester last week. On the opposite end of things, Ropapa Mensah rediscovering the elite form that saw him blossom into one of the best forwards in USL League One with Chattanooga over the course of the last 2 years. Goals in 2 of his last 3 matches, and without Leo Castro, he is tipped to lead the line once again this evening. Well, we are just about set for kickoff between Naples and Greenville. Third meeting in all competitions with both sides hoping for a response. Greenville looking to climb back into playoff contention. Naples looking to consolidate themselves inside the top 4. Stick with us. We'll be right back on ESPN+.
Hey, same shirt.
Is it?
Well, yours is new, obviously.
It only looks new. That's because he takes it to Tide Cleaners, where we keep clothes looking newer 50% longer. At Tide Cleaners, we care about your clothes as much as you do.
How's it look?
Newer 50% longer.
Awesome.
Hey, same order.
Head to my.tidecleaners.com to get started.
Luxury isn't just about where you live, it's about how you live. At Parker Hudson Homes, we craft bespoke residences where elegance meets effortless comfort. From custom builds to refined remodels, every detail is designed around you, your style, your vision, your way of living. Create a home that's truly yours and discover Parker Hudson Homes today.
Here on Florida's Paradise Coast, you can play your way. Whether you prefer an action-packed court, a leisurely round of golf, or the thrill of watching a professional soccer match, your only challenge is finding a way to do it all. So visit a luxurious playground that scores big for everything from its award-winning beaches to its incredible restaurants. Because when you want a vacation where all is perfect, only Paradise will do. Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades.
We welcome you back to the Paradise Coast Sports Complex in Naples, Florida, where we are just about set for kickoff in the third and final meeting across all competitions between FC Naples and Greenville Triumph, a clash that has delivered a couple of appetizing tussles. We'll see what it brings here this evening. It's now time for our starting lineups, presented by the law offices of Mark L. Shapiro, big enough to handle serious cases, small enough to care. And for FC Naples, no changes from what was a 2-2 draw against Westchester last Saturday. Carson Henderlong leading the line. Keep your eye on Kevin O'Connor, who supplied both of Henderlong's tallies from corner kicks. And then in defense, it's Breck Evans' 26th birthday today. He and Jake Dengler make up one of the most experienced center back pairings in all of USL League One. On the opposite end, for Rick Wright's crew, they make one change. This is a team that has not played the same starting lineup all season long, and when you look at their lineup, the lone change comes at right back. Toby Sims is not in the squad. He is out with a brief knock. DJ Benton takes his place at right back, and of course we've already mentioned the duo of Mensah and Robles. Those two caused the problem in the final third. We are just about ready to get things underway. For the first time these teams meet in Naples, the first two meetings going the way of Greenville, if you will. A 1-1 draw in league play on June 7th, and then on the final day of Jägermeister Cup group stage action, with Naples rotating their squad heavily and Greenville needing to win to progress to the knockouts. Greenville overcame an early deficit to win by a 2-1 scoreline. So Naples hoping to notch their first ever victory over Triumph if they can get the job done here tonight. It is a warm one in Naples. Temperatures in the high 80s and humid as always in Florida this time of year, but both teams accustomed to conditions such as these. Naples in the blue, the classic home strip going from right to left. Greenville in the white, going from left to right. And we are underway here from Naples. It is FC Naples and Greenville locking horns once again here, with both teams looking to get back in the win column. Sam Goldfarb taking you every step of the way here from the Paradise Coast Sports Complex. It's a Naples squad that, as we mentioned, riding high, 8 unbeaten in league play, but 3 consecutive draws. And Matt Pullen mentioning there were some moments of frustration in the 2-2 draw with Westchester this week. But it's a Greenville side that is in much more need, I should say, of the 3 points here tonight. A team that now, with Omaha's victory earlier today over Texoma, they find themselves 3 points south of the coveted top 8 with 8 matches to play. Rick Wright has said, after the way the last 2 matches have unfolded, with them being arguably the better side in both against Texoma as well as Wednesday night against Portland and coming up empty-handed, he has said their backs are against the wall. It is time for a response. We'll see if they can provide it. Here's Cisneros. Loses out briefly to Pascal Carvino and commits the transgression at the end of that interchange. He's an all-action fullback, as the Naples defenders tend to be. It's a very counterattack-oriented squad for FC Naples. In many ways, Greenville's possession-oriented style may play into their hands. And Rick Wright mentioning that the key is discipline in possession, not getting yourself too stretched and affording Naples the space they require on the break. That is how you cut out the counters before they begin. Well, Evans gives it away here. And it fortuitously rolls back to Bub. Here is the birthday boy, Breck Evans. Onan muscled off it. This is Evan Lee. We'll come back to the earlier challenge on DJ Benton. Greenville is particularly dangerous on set pieces. This is a team with the joint most headed goals in the league, so keep your eye out. And Matt Pullen will certainly be watching that for FC Naples. What a first year he has had at the helm of this Naples squad, overseeing a historic start. A team that set the record for the most matches unbeaten to begin an inaugural season in all comps of 9. And despite a midsummer wobble, they have recovered rather nicely and comfortably inside the top 8 as things stand today. As Evans curls this to the back post. And a foul into the back of what appeared to be Max Glasser will send things the other way. Matt Pullen's opposite number is that man, Rick Wright, in his second year as the head coach of Greenville Triumph. Last season, overseeing a run to the USL League One semifinals before they were ousted in the Battle of the Belt semis against Union Omaha. This year, a bit more up and down, a slow start by their lofty standards. They've only managed back-to-back league wins once all season in league play. But what is notable is Greenville's the only remaining League One team in the Jägermeister Cup. Those semifinals Wednesday night against Hartford Athletic, and he says he and his side are very proud of what they've accomplished there, and now it's about translating that success to league play. They're a team that picked off 3 different USL Championship clubs during their run to the semis. 2 in regular time, once on penalties. As O'Connor heads this towards Farine. Falls for Onan. And Torres not there for the return ball. Well, fans, the USL and the CBS Sports Network kicks off September with a League One battle. Playoff contender Spokane Velocity FC take on newcomer Westchester SC. Sunday, September 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. What a fixture that should be. Westchester is always appointment television. Despite struggling at the moment, it is a team that finds itself leading a lot of the fixtures they drop. Greenville's one of the few teams to score first against them and just batter them. Richmond somewhat replicating that feat on Wednesday night. Here's Robles. Now Evans, top chance creator in all of USL League One. Chapa Herrera, former longtime El Paso Locomotive man. Robles, a low driver, and right into the gloves of Lalo Delgado. It's going to take more to beat him from that distance. Someone with 6 clean sheets to his name during his time at Northern Colorado Hailstorm, an all-league first-teamer last season. Second team, excuse me. Also set the single-season clean sheets record in USL League One the previous year in 2023. Has not been tested much. Matt Pullen's mentioned how ironclad the back line is in front of him, but when called upon, he has produced a number of spectacular saves here this year. The numbers might not jump off the page, but he is a more than sound option for Naples in goal. And there's a reason why he's rarely been displaced. Long throw to Mensah, into the path of Lee. Robles can't track it down, and they'll come back to an earlier challenge on what appears to be Jake Dengler.
FC Naples fans pick up those flags scattered around the stadium thanks to Labara 239. Let's see those flags wave.
Well, it's now time for the injury report presented by the law offices of Mark L. Shapiro, big enough to handle serious cases, small enough to care. Nothing officially reported for Naples. Matt Pullen mentioning how grateful they are to have most available for selection. 2 officially out for Greenville, and Rick Wright telling me Toby Sims did not make the trip as well. So 3 in total unavailable, including their top scorer, Leo Castro, who's missed the better part of the last 2 months with a toe injury that has been more nagging than they originally hoped. In his stead, the likes of Robles and Mensah have stepped up of late. The goal scoring has actually picked up considerably the last 3 months or so. A team that slumped out of the gates, but now ranks tied for 4th in the league with 31 goals on the season. Starting to find some payoff for their heavy possession and high shot tally. It is a side that boasts so much League One experience. A lot of players who have been mainstays in the Greenville ranks for 5, even 6 years. This is launched over to Onan. Chips it back cleverly to Torres. Just beyond the reach of Farine, who does latch onto it. Onan. Moving it around very swiftly. That's a decent ball. Cleared away before it can reach Henderlong, and Naples settles for a corner. Well, fans, corner kicks are presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. The first of the match for either side thus far. Well, this is where they're dangerous. Scored both of their goals from this exact position. And Kevin O'Connor was the lad to deliver a pair of scintillating balls into Henderlong, who finished so well. So keep your eye on this in-swinger, especially if it goes towards the near post, like we expect. Does go towards the near post. Punched away by Rankenberg, who did rather well in the end. Only as far as Cisneros, though. Runs it out of danger. Space to cross now. Driven towards the near post, and Rankenberg will collect. Well, fans, keys to the game are presented by Florida's Paradise Coast. And here they are for Naples. Playing direct when appropriate is key. Matt Bowen mentioning that on a few occasions last week, they tried to kickstart the counter when it wasn't on. On the other side of things, we've already mentioned this for Rick Wright. He said that when his team is in possession, especially against a side that is so counter-oriented, they must make sure they don't stretch themselves or put themselves in a position where they are exposed when giving it away. Obviously, the preferred outcome is to not give it away in the first place, but best laid plans don't concentrate themselves on the best possible outcome. For those just joining us, over 10 minutes gone here from Naples. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action here tonight in League One play. At the start of the week, Naples found itself 11 points clear of the playoff cut line. Now it is 10, after Union Omaha's 5-0 throttling at Texoma earlier today. Greenville now 3 points south of the cut line. So a little more margin for error for Naples, but there is pride at play. A team that has not suffered a league defeat since late June. This is clever from Farine. Decent cross. Runs all the way through, and Onan unable to capitalize. Bub knocks it clear. Heckenberg, one of the most underrated players in all of USL League One. You have one conversation with Matt Bowen. He talks about how integral he is as a deep-lying playmaker for this 4-1-4-1 system. Well, they're blowing this whistle in favor of Naples. And just a throw after all of that confusion. Cisneros. Well, fans, FC Naples has only 3 home games remaining before the playoffs, and the next one is Saturday the 27th against AV Alta. Get your tickets now before they run out. Well, how both sides' fortunes have changed since the last time those two teams met in League One play. Alta taking 4 points from an available 6 from Naples, including handing Naples their last league defeat. Since then, Alta has struggled considerably. They've fallen from 2nd in the table to 7th. Naples, meanwhile, rocketing up the table over the last month. This is well done from Onan, who nearly receives it back. Now O'Connor out wide to Farine. Flatters it off Tyler Polak, who did well to make himself an obstacle. And that is the lightning quick pace with which Naples can break. Long throw from Glasser. Falls for Torres, who whiffs at it. Now Herrera off to the races the other direction. Mensah with him as well. And he's shrugged off it by Hackenberg, who cleans up so nicely. And that is the value number 8 in blue provides you. A veteran of this league, spending last year with Central Valley Fuego, and going largely underappreciated due to the struggles his club at the time experienced. But now with a side that has gotten national media spotlight, has enjoyed arguably the best season of all expansion clubs, starting to get the praise he deserves. Sun begins to set here in Naples. Picturesque view. Mensah. No whistle from our official, and he says play on. Honan sprays it forward to Henderlong, and he was offside. And now they'll come back to Ropapa Mensah, who is still prone on the deck. That's a point of concern for Greenville. Already rather light at the center forward spot with Castro out. Mensah just rounding into form himself. Seems no worse for wear. That's a welcome sight for all involved. What a pair of campaigns he had in Chattanooga. Last season, finishing with the joint 4th most goals in the league. Scored 9 in a truncated USL League One campaign that only featured 22 regular season matches. In the previous year, career best 12 goals. Someone who was also played in the championship with the likes of Pittsburgh, Sporting Kansas City 2, and Nashville before they made the MLS move. The most unique trivia tidbit about Ropapa Mensah, which is interesting, is he scored Nashville SC's first goal as a USL franchise, and it came in a friendly against Atlanta United. Oh, how the times have changed. Nashville now in the top flight. Mensah himself enjoying a very strong career for himself in USL League One. Lee. Polak. Threads it through to Mensah. Now Corvino. Polak again, tries for goal. And Delgado equal to it at his near post. There's a promising sign for Greenville, though. Their first major spell of possession in the opening stages, and at least creating some semblance of danger. Hasn't quite unfolded the way we maybe thought, at least in terms of who's had the bulk of the chances, as Onan snatches this back. That is a stabbing challenge, and one that is perfectly accurate at that. Well timed from Zane Bubb. Well, here's Greenville's first major noise they made as you look at the Physicians Regional Healthcare System replay. Polak has a pop, tries for the near post. Delgado saw it all the way, though. At least signs of life for Greenville when they reach the final third. Cisneros heaves it in. Flick on header, runs just beyond Henderlong. Falls for Torres. Polak undercuts Farine, and they will come back to this now. Right on the edge of the area. The question is, does it warrant more action from our lead official, Kevin Lewis? Take another look. It's a 50-50. It's an underweighted pass. And yes, Polak misses. I believe our referee's correct to not brandish the yellow for something that minuscule. Certainly is a foul, though. And it allows Matt Pohen to dive deep into his bag of tricks. He's proven so dangerous on set pieces over the course of the last couple months. Now Jaden Onen and Kevin O'Connor can deliberate. O'Connor goes for goal! Rankenberg up to claim it. Had some venom to it. Rankenberg, though, to his credit, had his near post perfectly watched. Now Robles the other direction. Mensah. Evans. Herrera. This is Corvino. In his second year with Greenville. Taking on Cisneros. We reach the 20-minute threshold. Still nothing to separate these two sides. Third and final meeting in all competitions. The first a 1-1 draw in Greenville, in which Henderlong opened the scoring before Greenville rocketed right back on the stroke of halftime. That a match played at Riggs Field in Clemson before the 2-1 come-from-behind victory for Greenville that helped them secure safe passage to the quarterfinals of the Jägermeister Cup. And what a cup set they pulled a couple of weeks ago, winning on penalties against Indy 11 after falling behind. Now the only League One team remaining. It is a busy stretch for them in the midst of 4 matches in 10 days, and Rick Wright mentioning that they needed to play a full-strength squad tonight because they're not giving up on the league. It is a team that regularly makes the playoffs. They are kind of a fixture of the USL League One postseason. Have never failed to reach the playoffs in the USL League One era. Henderlong. Receives it back from Dangler. Has runners with him. Looking for Onen in space. Just overcooks it at the near post. That very inviting for Naples. Well done from Henderlong. Holds it up brilliantly. Onen manages to navigate, beyond Tyler Polak. Fans tune in September 10th for the Jägermeister Cup semifinals. From 38 clubs down to the Final Four. Rhode Island FC take on Sacramento Republic FC at 7 p.m. Eastern. And League One's Greenville Triumph SC battles Hartford Athletic at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, all on ESPN+. Here's your look at the veteran Evan Lee. He's committing the foul here after an unintentional interchange with O'Connor. Onen drives it forward. And only as far as Glasser. Now Cisneros. Has room to roam. And linking with Henderlong. Return ball just beyond him. Nearly cutting through Greenville like a knife through butter. There's a Greenville player down. appears to be Pascal Corvino, who only recently returned from a prolonged injury absence. See here just after he pulls up, and that's concerning. Someone who suffered an ankle injury just 23 minutes into the second match of the league season for Greenville. Missed 4 months. And now Rick Wright may be forced into further alterations, it seems. He's someone who understands the weight with managing Greenville. A club that, as we mentioned, a historic power in this league, winning the title in 2020 after earning the highest points per game that year and reaching the final in 2019 and 2021 to begin their tenure as a club. Longtime assistant under John Harkes during the club's first 5 years before becoming the head coach of Greenville. And well, it's a bit of rookie and vet action because his counterpart, Matt Poland, is one of the youngest managers in the league, in his 30s, but he is coaching well beyond his years. The Naples squad that right now in the live table is 6 points off the top. They are closer to the top of the table than they are to 9th. Speaks to what a job he's done in his first year as the Naples head man, someone who during his time at Chicago House, both in NISA and the amateur ranks, oversaw a ton of Cinderella runs in the US Open Cup. The overall record, 23-7-8 in all competitions during his time with Chicago House. We are midway through this first half. Still nothing to separate these two sides. Naples looking the more threatening of the two entities in the fold. Corvino. Here's Evans launching this forward towards Robles. Dangler there to cut it out. Glasser undercut by Chapa Herrera, and our referee blows play dead. Glasser. Torres. This is Cisneros. You see, the wingers have flopped flanks. Onan beginning on the left, now concentrated more on the right, and Andres Farine moving back to his more natural left midfield role. Both can effectively play on either flank. Very versatile. This is lofted right into the path of Rankenberg. Farine didn't stand much chance at that. Onan. Farine overzealous in his attempts to win it back. Good to see Corvino is content to keep running. Tries to kickstart a break. Two hands, a shove from Andres Farine. Just shy of the 30-minute threshold. Still a feeling out process. Get the sense Greenville prioritizing its solidity at the back over everything else, especially considering how the last two matches went. Portland match in which they go up a goal on two separate occasions Wednesday night. And then they go up a man after Poon Andron was sent off with 5 to play. Still conceding at the death, and Rick Wright mentioning how tough that was to stomach. A bevy of individual errors, especially on the final goal when nobody stepped to JT Kamara before he played that ball in. Those were the moments that cost them not just a point, but potentially 3. Said that after the Texoma match, prior to that, in which they literally handed the ball unintentionally to Ashmir Spengler in the difference-making moment. So that was the harshest team talk he's ever given as a coach. Says his players have responded well to that. As you see here, Polak and Glasser have it coming together. Another set piece for Greenville. Evans and Polak in the immediate vicinity. Both can launch it a long way if need be. And again, Greenville, their strength, headed goals. 8 of their 31 in league play coming from those. Here is Evans. Thrust off it by Farine. Lost it out of play without any word from our official. Well, fans, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big leagues, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Papa Mensah clipping Dangler at the heels there. Another look. Greenville, the first time we've seen them press properly. Definitely gets none of the ball. A quiet start to this match for him. In many respects left on an island. Greenville with a decent share of the ball, but not in positions where he can do any damage. Speaks to how organized Naples has been defensively. Matt Poland, when talking to him early in the season, the first thing he said, or one of the first things he said, was, our bread and butter is our defensive solidity. I believe the final third progression will come from there. And Mensah may be booked here for progressive and persistent infringement, I should say. Get another look. Same exact foul. I tell you what, Dangler goes down rather easy. And he gets off scot-free. I believe that is the right decision. Dangler has cut out by Herrera. Robles. I'll tell you what, there doesn't appear to be much flow to this fixture. Just due to the fact that the whistle has gone virtually every time you've seen any bit of marginal contact. To be fair, it's been consistent both ways. Maybe it's hampered the free-flowing nature of things. Here is Mensah, a rare touch for him. Evans. Floating it into Mensah, heavy first touch. And he goes down after the contact with Dangler. The referees waved away any appeal there, but he will stop play because Mensah appears to be in a fair bit of discomfort here. Inviting ball this. Slight heavy touch. He ultimately is the one that kicks into Dangler. And I believe it's the way his boot clatters against Dangler's calf, which does the damage.
We would like to take this moment to thank
He's
our
still in
title partner,
a fair bit of pain. This is
dedicated to keeping Southwest Florida healthy and keeping our players at their best.
definitely something to watch.
Off the field.
I think in some ways, he'll feel that it's been somewhat underwhelming. His side has definitely been on top for the bulk of proceedings. I think he'll be happy with the organization out of possession, but a few moments where 1-2s haven't come off like they normally do. That's been what's maybe separated his squad from an advantage on the precipice of halftime.
Locally owned and operated for over 10 years with 9 locations in Southwest Florida.
I think he'll feel that squad could take the initiative a bit more, but overall, they haven't left themselves exposed that much either. In many ways, a cagey affair built on solidity first, and it's no surprise that Rick Wright mentioned the word discipline to me on 3 or 4 separate occasions as Mensah limps off, and that is something to monitor over the remainder of the 90 minutes. I'll have a chance to talk to Matt Poland about the type of players he looks for when building a squad, because he's mentioned that his type of player brings a blue-collar identity of sorts, someone who's not afraid to run, try and win the ball back, get physical. He's mentioned that tonight, against a Greenville side that is known for its physicality, its size, its strength, you need to sign up for that. I felt that this fixture would be a bruising affair, and in some respects that it has been. Neither side giving an inch thus far. Dangler. Connor left it loose. Managed to navigate out of things. Now Mensah. Dangler slides in and won it cleanly. Henderlong. Onan looking for Farine, who does latch onto it. Robles tracks back well. O'Connor hooking it in towards Onan, and it was the last-ditch intervention from DJ Benton which did the job. This is a great ball from O'Connor. Appetizing, teasing, Benton, though, is the obstacle, and if it weren't for him, it's a free header at the back stick for Onan. Instead, it's just a corner kick presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. We approach the final 5 minutes of this first half. Both teams starting to knock on the door more. This taken short to O'Connor. Good ball for Dangler. Torres. Dangler is still down. He's one of the most experienced center backs in all of USL League One. And has seemingly not recovered from that coming together in the box.
FC Naples fans, let's see those flags scattered about the stadium. Brought to you by our good friends at Labara 239. Pick up those flags, fans. Let's see them wave.
He and Breck Evans have played so many minutes together in league play. Dangler playing all but 1 minute of league matches in which he is featured. You see here, lands awkwardly after going for that header. Tried to walk it off and still moving a bit gingerly, but does look like he may give it a go. As of now, Naples temporarily down to 10, and Breck Evans, top center back partner, in a bit of discomfort. Well, fans, FC Naples has only 3 home games remaining before the playoffs, and the next one is Saturday the 27th against AV Alta. Get your tickets now before they run out. Farine. Henderlong looking back for Farine. Benton tracking him step for step and wins it cleanly. He has impressed in relief of Toby Sims. Not a small order to fill those boots. He's doing his best though. Mensah. Benton. Won a league title with North Carolina FC 2 years ago. Has bounced around USL League One throughout his career thus far. Here's a man who's been a mainstay with Greenville and Pollock. Onan continuing to handle his defensive duties well. Torres is fouled. See here, play forward. Torres, a slight clip from Chapa Herrera. Clearly unintentional. Dangler for now looks no worse for wear. He will try to soldier on alongside Evans in the heart of defense. Hearing word with all of the whistles we've heard it may be a hefty count of added time. So the quest to the 45-minute threshold will be greeted with plenty of stoppage additions. Cisneros runs into Benton and company. Here he is again, though. Cisneros on the half volley. Rankenberg tracks over perfectly. And he is someone that's hardly put a foot wrong thus far. See Cisneros. Excellent bit of skill to dismiss Connor Evans from the equation. Not enough ferocity to take it beyond Rankenberg, though. 25-year-old goalkeeper in his third season with Greenville after 5 phenomenal years at Georgia State. Last season bouncing in and out of the lineup with Christian Garner. With Garner's departure to Charleston in the offseason, he's been given the #1 shirt. Rick Wright says he's a big-time shot stopper. There is still plenty of work to be done with him. He's not a finished product, but he is someone that they believe can play at the next level and beyond if all breaks right. Has had big moments, no doubt. Henderlong. Vereen. Evans wins it back. Now Henderlong shoved. Onan, and they'll come back to Fricky's foul. Taken too quickly for our referee's liking. Take another glance. Definitely a two-handed shove from Brendan Fricky. And after the referee realized that Onan had no real advantage, he came back to it. It's not a bad spot to have a pop by any means. But also with such a physical presence like Henderlong lingering, you wonder if they'll just dink it into the quarter of uncertainty. It is Dangler as well as Kevin O'Connor in the immediate vicinity. It would take some strike to test Rankenberg from here, though. Seven minutes of added time, by the way, presented by Tide Cleaners. Dangler does have a pop, and it is right at Rankenberg. It was on frame. It was relatively tamely placed, though. Mensah. Foul on the edge of the area. That goes in favor of Greenville. Rodrigo Robles is ailing from that. See here, 50-50, and he does win out, but takes a shot to his ankle from Max Glasser. Well, they've actually blown the whistle against Greenville. Robles perhaps was offside. In many respects, a match played between the penalty areas. Naples looking more progressive in possession, no doubt. Greenville's had a couple of decent half chances, but has been a tactical first half above all. Neither side willing to compromise its defensive solidity too exceptionally far. As it wears on, I figure Matt Pullen may actually throw more caution to the wind than his counterparts. He himself said that after a third consecutive draw, they're hungry to get back in the win column. Of course, rectified what was a goal drought that lasted nearly 200 minutes on last Saturday against Westchester, but not to be, at least 3 points, as far as 3 points is concerned. Cisneros, Henderlong, dropping much deeper to claim. Looking for Onan, it's right into the path of Tyler Polak. Well, fans, soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Vereen wins it back, played across to Henderlong. There's the opener. He is a savant on the break, and he strikes again for Naples. 1-0. You are looking at the best striker, maybe the best player in USL League One. It's a lovely ball from Vereen, and Henderlong will not dare miss from that distance. He scores when he wants, and he scores again. Well, that goal presented by Hopsized, and on the stroke of halftime, it is Carson Henderlong time. A 12th of the season, and he stands alone atop the Golden Boot race. Had a brace last Saturday. He tacks on another tonight. Someone who Matt Poland has raved about. Says in the offseason, after struggling to feature for Indy 11 last year in the championship, he had no ego about showing up for an open tryout. Matt Poland was pretty sure he was going to sign him, but he said it spoke a lot about the type of player and person Carson Henderlong is, that he was willing to show up and prove himself. And well, prove himself he did on that day, and prove himself he has over the course of this campaign. "1-0 to Naples, and Greenville with work to do if they hope to claw back. A side that you could suggest was second best for much of the first, and the scoreline now reflects that. Henderlong. Herrera. Final minute of the added 7, and as things stand, Carson Henderlong making the difference in first half stoppage time. 12th goal of the season in league play, goal number 14 in 30 appearances across all competitions. And the sheer breadth of ways in which he scores. Headers on set pieces, acrobatic finishes, or taking advantage of space on the counter. And here he is again, winning a corner for Naples, and now the question is there time to take it? And he's hoping to make one last moment in this first half. That corner kick presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. This likely the last involvement going forward for either side in this first half. Onan within swing towards the heart of the area. Mensah stabs away. Vereen. Flashing ball, deflects out of play. Another corner. And it appears we still have time to take it. Well beyond the added 7 now, and as you already know, the corner kick presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. Naples with the wind in their sails since scoring, and a second would push Greenville into dangerous territory. O'Connor stands over it. Hooked in. Nearly reached Evans. Instead falls to the edge of the area, and another! Julian Cisneros with another banger, and Naples makes it 2. That the last kick of the first half. Julian Cisneros pouncing on the edge of the area. Naples capitalizing, and they add a second before the break. 2-0. Teasing ball in. It falls so nicely for Cisneros, who clatters it on the half volley just underneath Rankenberg. And he adds another spectacular to his repertoire. That goal presented by Hopsized, and at halftime, the scoreline reads FC Naples 2, Greenville Triumph 0. The home support can rejoice, a first half in which chances were few and far between, but Naples capitalizing on their 2 glaring moments. They lead 2-0 at halftime as we take a quick breather here from the Paradise Coast Sports Complex. The first half, that was largely cagey, but Naples capitalizing on 2 moments of vulnerability to take a 2-0 lead into the break. We'll step aside when we return, a look around USL League One. Stick with us here from Naples. Once again to the near post, and it's Henderlong again. He is a set-piece madman.
More tables, more entertainment, more slots, more fun. More than you expected. There's more in paradise at Seminole Casino Hotel, Immokalee.
We welcome you back here from Naples, where 2 stoppage time goals in the first half. CFC Naples lead 2-0 at the Physicians Regional Healthcare System halftime show. Well, on the halftime show, it gives us an opportunity to take a look at the Extra Time podcast, which provides Matt Poland a platform to give his insights on the squad. Take a look.
And welcome into Extra Time, a weekly video podcast with Fox 4 and FC Naples, where we take you behind the scenes every week for the first season of professional soccer here in Southwest Florida. I'm Ryan Kruger, and FC Naples stays hot. 8 matches in a row. They are unbeaten, and they put on some fireworks last weekend.
We created a lot. We created some really high-quality opportunities. Unfortunately, we didn't finish them. So, it's kind of both sides of the coin. On one hand, to score 2 goals, to continue our unbeaten streak, important, but also created enough to win the game, and maybe to execute or take advantage of all of the chances that we created. So some good, some bad from it.
Of course, one of the good is definitely the play of Carson Hinderlong. He now moves up. He's tied for first place in the league with goal scores. He's been goal dangerous all year, but he had 2 in that match against Westchester SC. This guy, he just seems to really have a nose for where that ball is going to be and how to get it in the back of the net.
Yeah, he's a true finisher. You know, he's so efficient with his touches in the box. It's great to see him score set piece goals as well, to just add to the dynamic options that he presents and challenges. So, you know, anytime your leading front man is scoring 2 goals in a game, it's a great day at the office for him. So, you know, it's now important to just keep that rhythm going for him as much as possible.
And you said earlier it was 8, right? It's 8 matches in a row, unbeaten. So it's nice. There was definitely that little bit of a slump, but ever since you came back from that road trip to California, it's like you guys have really gotten on track. Is there anything specifically that's you've noticed in those matches?
Yeah, it's you know, obviously there's always layered improvement and growth. To me, it's the work rate. When we outwork the other team, when we work to get behind the ball, good things happen for us. Defensively, we're quite efficient when we put the work in, and we're really hard to score on. So, you know, I don't think there's some magic secret to what we do or our identity. I think we're a team that's going to have success only when we work hard. And if we don't work hard or we don't outwork the other team, it's going to be hard for us to have success. So that's kind of our DNA or our recipe for success.
Join us every week on Extra Time.
Prinks Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines. From early mornings to late nights. From fun with friends to winner takes all. From the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks Tires will be there for the long haul.
Strikes with the right and opens the scoring. A dream start for the home side. Wow, what a strike from Westchester, and it's Prince Sadie.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way.
Focus!
Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Whatever it takes. Trusted for over 100 years. Tiger Balm's proven herbal blend tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger so that you can rise above pain. Let's make a Karate Kid. And get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
And Rhode Island are into a major semifinal. Gives Hartford the lead.
Greenville is on the semifinals.
Sacramento is heading to the semifinals.
Hey, same shirt. Is it? Well, yours is new, obviously.
It only looks new. That's because he takes it to Tide Cleaners, where we keep clothes looking newer 50% longer. At Tide Cleaners, we care about your clothes as much as you do.
How's it look?
Newer 50% longer.
Awesome. Hey, same order.
Head to my.tidecleaners.com to get started.
We welcome you back here from Naples on the Halftime Show, presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System. Care for every goal. And at halftime, FC Naples leads 2-0 on the strength of a pair of goals in first half stoppage time. It's now time to get a look around USL League One, starting with our standout news and notes from the week. And it, as always, a busy week around the USL. 17 current USL Championship or League One players called up for World Cup qualifying matches, many of which compete in CONCACAF. Meanwhile, Richmond Kickers celebrating the 30th anniversary of that historic Cup set victory, the only four-tier side to win the 1995 U.S. Open Cup. And then finally, Chattanooga unbeaten in the last 10 right now at halftime, they are in a tight one. Pivoting forward to our scores from around the league, here is what we've got today. Our scores presented by Ave Maria, a big kind of small town. Right now, a 5-0 victory for Union Omaha over Texoma. We alluded to that. The second half has actually just begun in Chattanooga in that scoreless affair between themselves and Charlotte. And it is a 1-1 scoreline late in the first half between Tormenta and Knoxville. More matches coming up later tonight. AV Alta in action as well. When we look ahead to what these teams have on the docket, it is a busy stretch this time of year. For Naples, they have a little more time off, 6 days before traveling to Charlotte on Friday night. And then as you head further down the schedule, 2 more away matches against Portland and Omaha. They wrap up the next 5 at Westchester. 4 of the next 5 away from home. The only home match throughout the remainder of September is against AV Alta on September 27th. On the opposite end of things, for Greenville Triumph, we mentioned it in the midst of a stretch of 4 matches in 10 days, and it does not get much easier. Playing a red-hot Hartford side in Hartford in the USL Jägermeister Cup semifinals. That a major fixture for League One and Greenville. And then as you head further down, especially if they drop tonight, matches that they feel they must win. Hosting Tormenta as well as Madison before a pair of difficult road tussles. Both schedules presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System. When you look at the standings presented by WM, this is the live table as things currently stand. FC Naples would move 13 points above the playoff line if they can see out 3 points. Meanwhile, for Greenville, the task to get back into the top 8 a lot tougher because they would be 3 points behind Omaha, with Omaha having 2 matches in hand. They need to come back and salvage something if they want to bolster their playoff hopes. In terms of the standout performers from Week 26, here's your look at the team of the week. Kevin O'Connor and Carson Henderlong both on the team after playing integral roles in both goals against Westchester last weekend. The standout performer, though, Ollie Wright, an excellent display against Charlotte Independence, in which he was involved in almost all of their 4 goals. Austin Pack, the goalkeeper of the week, and Ian Fuller, the coach of the week. That's your look around USL League One. When we return, a flashback to everything that just transpired in the opening 45 minutes. Stick with us.
The more you explore Florida's Paradise Coast, the more it becomes clear. With 30 miles of soft white sands, all is beachy in paradise. With endless outdoor adventures waiting for you, all is exciting in paradise. And with award-winning restaurants eager to wow you, all is delicious in paradise. So plan your visit soon, because if you want to get away where all is perfect, only paradise will do. Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades.
Luxury isn't just about where you live, it's about how you live. At Parker Hudson Homes, we craft bespoke residences where elegance meets effortless comfort. From custom builds to refined remodels, every detail is designed around you, your style, your vision, your way of living. Create a home that's truly yours and discover Parker Hudson Homes today.
More tables, more entertainment, more slots, more fun. More than you expected. There's more in paradise at Seminole Casino Hotel, Immokalee.
We are back here in Naples as we get a look back at our first half highlights presented by the Lake Park Diner, and a cagey opening to things. Neither team creating many clear-cut chances. Tyler Pollock having a go, though. This is the best chance for Greenville in the first half. Lalo Delgado equal to it. And then on the opposite end of things, Naples did create some trouble. Kevin O'Connor lashing at this free kick and driving it directly towards goal. Gunther Rankenberg sees it all the way. But then the action picks up in the late stages of the first half. Julian Cisneros creating some danger and nearly picking out the bottom left corner. But more where that came from, because in the stoppage time, that is when things really heated up. Andres Farine dispossessing DJ Benton, and outside of the boot cross, and Henderlong there to greet it from close range to make it 12 goals on the season and take sole possession of the top spot in the Golden Boot race. A classic Henderlong goal on the counter, running at the back post and bashing it into the top left. But then there was more. Right before intermission, 9 minutes into stoppage time, Julian Cisneros having a half volley hit and lashing it underneath the outstretched gloves of Gunther Rankenberg. He made it 2-0 with a pair of goals for Naples in first half stoppage time. It's time for our stats presented by Arthrex. Does an injury have you benched? Explore orthopedic treatment options at orthopedia.com, powered by Arthrex. Naples dominant in virtually every category. More of the ball, which we thought was Greenville's bread and butter, outshooting them 7-2 and a 5-2 shots on target advantage. The lone positive for Greenville is both of their shots have been on frame. The problem is not creating nearly enough chances. It's almost the inverse of the Greenville side we saw earlier in the year, where they created a bevy but couldn't turn it into clear-cut opportunities. Here tonight, having an issue carving out those chances. Just about ready to get things back underway from Paradise Coast Sports Complex. Greenville now going from right to left on your screen, Naples from left to right. And for the Greenville Triumph, they are desperate for some sort of response. In a 2-0 hole away from home, and in major peril of falling a full 3 points below the playoff line, with teams above them having matches in hand. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action. This is potentially a major inflection point in Greenville's season. They fall again tonight. Things get rather difficult with a busy stretch of fixtures on the horizon. As you see here, Mensah and Dengler have a bit of a coming together. And our referee talks both parties down. Farine also involved. If Naples can walk out of here with 3 points, they would be, as things stand, just 4 points off top of the table. With 7 matches remaining on their docket after this one, they would still have time to potentially put themselves in the Players' Shield race, which, when you looked at the table come summer, with the team barely sitting above the playoff line, many wouldn't have foreseen, as Robles drives this well over the bar and no trouble for Delgado. He had a relatively quiet first half. Credit to both his defense as well as his team for bossing it, but did pass the first major test thrust his way. A routine stop at the near stick to deny Pollock. Since then, though, he's had the luxury of being a spectator. Evans. First half in which his influence was oddly blunted. Someone who Rick Wright has talked about moving to defensive midfield at the professional level, someone who played fullback in college, but had experience in USL League Two playing as a holding mid. It's his work rate, according to Rick Wright, that allows him to fit in seamlessly at either position. Offside flag is raised. at this point, you wonder who can provide that creative spark for Greenville. Maybe it's Chapa Herrera. Maybe it's someone on the subs bench this evening. The likes of Siobhan Marsh and many others. Still options for Rick Wright, who has a full bench to choose from. Ben Zakowski also sits there, known for being a bit of a lightning rod, especially as a second half substitute. So if this persists, there are definitely game changers that the Triumph headman can insert into the action. It's just a question of when he deems it necessary. Loose pass, finds for Rain, hunting Henderlong. Is down once again. He was keeled over at the tail end of the first half. And he's now in a similar position after getting trod upon moments ago. I think he'll try to run it off. Just got grazed by Brandon Fricke, it seemed. Might take a little more than that to remove him from this fixture, though. He's already put his fingerprints all over it. His one moment, he capitalized upon without doubt. Now leads all scorers in USL League One with a dozen tallies. Corvino. Sprayed forward, collected by Delgado though. Fans FC Naples has only 3 home games remaining before the playoffs, and the next one is Saturday the 27th against AV Alta. Get your tickets now before they run out. If you know anything about FC Naples and the crowds they draw, it's nothing short of impressive. A support base that fills up the near 5,000 seat Paradise Coast Sports Complex. Tonight, decent turnout once again. Makes for one of the better atmospheres in USL League One, especially amongst the expansion clubs. Here's a first-time cross from Benton that doesn't find anyone in the white kits. And you get the sense that if Naples can maintain its position, or even improve on it, as things stand, they would host a playoff match come early November, late October. This place would be packed to the gills and rocking. Labada 239 does not play when it comes to supporting their club. You look at the current table. Would be a Naples-Charlotte matchup in the quarterfinals. Top 8 teams, of course, qualify. Single elimination. Still a long way to go before that sorts itself out, especially in a gridlocked top 10 or 11 spots. Corvino has his cross cleared away by Dangler. Now Henderlong muscles Evans off it comfortably. Dispossessed by Herrera, though. Polak. Corvino. Herrera. Robles. Maybe some space to uncork. Instead plays it wide to Corvino. Stab to the back post. Overcooks it for Benton, who barely keeps this in play. Corvino. Receives it back from Polak. Lee, all-time appearances leader in USL League One history. Appetizing cross from Corvino. Found Benton, but his effort did not come close to finding the target. You wonder what the team talk was like from Rick Wright at intermission. He said to me, and we mentioned it in the first half, that after the Texoma defeat, a 1-0 defeat in which they were the better side and quite literally handed them an opener inside 10 minutes, it was the harshest team talk he had ever given. So you see Bub here go over the top of Henderlong. Said he had to balance compassion with criticism after the way they lost to Portland. Said when watching the film back, his players took accountability for the way, especially that Portland match ended. Nobody picking up JT Kamara before the cross came in to find Titus Washington. He said to the guys, look, I appreciate that, but at this point of the season, we need you to do it. Don't just tell me. Farine dances past Polak. Stabs this well beyond O'Connor, though. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XMFC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on the Sirius XMFC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Just about 10 minutes into the second half, Sam Goldfarb taking you through this one between FC Naples and Greenville Triumph. At this current stage, Naples in line to claim their first ever victory over the Triumph. 2 goals in first half stoppage time from Carson Henderlong and a banger from Julian Cisneros making the difference. Greenville with little to show for any of their possession going forward. The likes of Rapapa Mensah and others left without a chance to make an impact. Farine. This is Mensah, who stayed on side according to our official. Herrera. Fricky. Herrera looking over the top, just beyond the reach of Robles. Someone who enters tonight in quite good form. 6 goals, all of which have come in the last 13 matches across all comps. 5 of them have come in league play. Scored that goal in the second half to put Greenville 2-1 in front against Portland on Wednesday. But this evening, very few touches of it, at least of importance. That's been the unfortunate story of Greenville's night. Much tamer and built up than we've seen them in past weeks. Here's Cisneros. Just ran out of real estate on that far side. Terraz. Farine. Here is Henderlong. Untangles himself from the defense. Glasser in space. Chips it to the back stick and just headed over the bar from Mark Terraz. Look at the pace with which they break. It is a symphony with so many moving parts. Look at the options Max Glasser has to play into, and he just slightly overcooks it for Mark Torres. But this is where they are just so dangerous, and when you're Gunther Rankenberg standing there, there's literally nothing you can do but pick your poison and hope. Fortunately for him, the free header sailed well over his crossbar. This is a Naples side at their best tonight. Talking to Matt Pullen this week, he mentioned how against Westchester at times, they tried to play too direct too often. And what he means by that is when there wasn't a counter on, sometimes they forced it, didn't settle into moments where they could possess it, try to tug the defense out of position and then capitalize. Here tonight, you've seen them balance it very well, bossing possession against a Greenville side that on average holds it for about 52% of the game. Top 5 in the league in average possession. Naples, second from the bottom in that category. We've spoken about how well-rounded Naples is, and like a chameleon, adapting to the style in front of them. Henderlong. Here is Herrera. We approach the hour mark, and there is still plenty of work to be done for Greenville Triumph. And hearing word that they're readying a pair of changes. One of them is Siobhan Marsh, who has caught fire of late for Greenville. Polak sent tumbling by O'Connor. Rick Wright has decided enough is enough, and the question is when those changes will be waved on. Evans, Benton, Herrera, Robles, right off the face of Torres. Doing his best Scott Sterling impression, it seems. And here are the changes. That's the end of the night for Pascal Corvino, who's replaced by the former Jamaican international Siobhan Marsh. Meanwhile, Anthony Patti, the defender, also getting set to make his 8th appearance of the league season. So Patti for Polak, Marsh for Corvino. Both substitutions presented by the Seminole Casino Hotel Immokalee. More in paradise. Siobhan Marsh, someone who also excelled during his 2 seasons with Chattanooga Red Wolves, scored 19 goals in 62 appearances over the course of the last 2 seasons. 6 goals in his last 9 across all competitions. And of course, best known for that hat trick against Charlotte on August 9th. That his coming out party to reassert himself after a slow start to the campaign. Rick Wright mentioning that he continues to push him and try to get more out of him. Has been pleased with his performances of late, but still feels there's more in his tank. See what they can get out of their newly minted super sub here. Talking to Rick Wright, he mentioned how last night the Bermuda-Jamaica World Cup qualifier grew a bit jokingly contentious between the two. Rick Wright, of course, born in Bermuda, supporting Bermuda, and Siobhan Marsh, a native of Jamaica, and the two had dinner last night. We're watching the match, and every time Jamaica scored, Siobhan made a sly remark. It got to the point where Rick Wright jokingly said he'd have to pay for dinner if he heard any more. Glasser sprinting ahead, Marsh tracking him. That's that energy Rick Wright was hoping for. And he fouls Glasser at the end of things. Onan and O'Connor stand over this. All of the big bodies forward for Naples. A hooking ball headed by Dangler. Relatively tame for Rankenberg to claim. When I talked to Rick Wright this week, he said, we're not giving up on the league. We're playing our best squad. They've played a strong 11 for this evening, but 2 lapses in the late stages of the first half see them behind. And if this holds, obviously still a long way before that becomes a problem. You wonder how they progress on a short week to the Jaeger Cup semis. As this cross from Marsh comes into Mensah, his teammate at Chattanooga as well. And those two have quite the rapport. Well, fans, eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. We inch towards the final 20 here in Naples. And it is the hosts giving their home fans plenty to cheer about. Hearing word that Zeke Soto, the 18-year-old, is getting set to replace Evan Lee. So at this point, Rick Wright throwing caution in the wind, understandably so. Herrera. Lee. Likely one of his final involvements going forward. Benton, low cross to Mensah. Robles hooking it over the top. Falls for Mensah, and there is life for Greenville. Comes out of thin air, but it is a goal for the Triumph, and they've halved the deficit with 25 to play. There is the response Rick Wright was hoping for, and it's Ropapa Mensah. It is a striker's finish of the highest degree. Just throws his boot at this with plenty of venom, and Lalo Delgado has no chance at it. On the half volley, well beyond his reach. And Ropapa Mensah with an infusion of life for Greenville Triumph. A third league goal in the last 4 matches for Greenville after opening the scoring in the early stages of the Portland match Wednesday. Strikes again here on Saturday, and that hop-sized goal may provide a much-needed infusion of spirit for Greenville in the closing stages. Sub took place. Lee off for Soto. That substitution presented by Seminole Casino Hotel Immokalee. More in paradise. Here is the goal scorer, Mensah. Marsh dances beyond Farine and has a hit. Well beyond the reach, though, of Delgado's goal. Clean sheet is out the window, and now things maybe have gotten a little nervier for Naples. Aside that, seemed like it had control of proceedings here in the second, but undone by one moment, a bevy of second and third balls, and Ropapa Mensah with an expert finish to cap everything off. We find ourselves in an affair that is by no means closed. Henderlong, back for Onan. Fouls Evans. You saw Zeke Soto come on moments ago. Aloni from Charleston Battery, who's making his 13th League One appearance of the year. scored just 1 goal in Greenville colors in league play thus far. He picks out Mensa here. Here is Soto. Herrera. Cisneros. It clearly hasn't been Greenville's dream display. But it takes just one moment now to throw all of the negative feelings out the window. You overcome a 2-0 deficit and even walk away from here with a point, a venue that Naples has lost just 1 sat in league play. It would be certainly a positive. And that Mensa goal at least has them dreaming about a response. Bub. Benton. Mensa does well to keep this in Greenville's possession. Now Evans. Aggressive step from Breck Evans. You wonder now how Matt Poland and company balance the need to control things and keep things under wraps without overextending themselves. Do you chase the third, or do you play with fire and try to take the sting out of things? Herrera. Patty continuing his run. It's funny how goals can change things. All of a sudden, Greenville running around, shot out of a cannon, it seems, and knocking it about with that much more confidence. This is Zane Bub looking for Soto. Farine. Torres. There is almost a nervous hush over the venue, with the exception of the drums in Labada 239 section. Mensa. Out wide to Soto with room to cross. Hooking it towards Siobhan Marsh. Dancing to the byline. And a corner on the way for Greenville. Well, excuse me, the final touch came off of Siobhan Marsh. And then we'll come back to Andres Farine, who's slow to return to his feet. What an exciting player he's turned out to be at 24 years of age. Native of Colombia, product of the Once Caldas youth ranks. Only made just 2 appearances in the Liga de Mayor, though. Opted to move to the United States to pursue a pro career this summer. Winner, I should say. Here's a look at what caused the ailment. Seems like it just came after he played that pass on the fly. Maybe felt a twinge. Farine is exiting, so that definitely something to monitor for Naples. One of their key creative pieces and integral presences on the counterattack exits. He's replaced by Ian Cerro. Meanwhile, One more change as well. Tomas Rittendale, who was signed only a few weeks back, he replaces Cisneros in a like-for-like swap at left back. Both substitutions are presented by Seminole Casino Hotel Immokalee, more in Paradise. Tomas Rittendale, 23 years of age, joining on a 25-day contract on July 25th before it was extended throughout the remainder of this year. Just his second league appearance. Has played in the USL Championship as well as MLS Next Pro with Huntsville City. Comes in relief of Cisneros as they hope to lock up shop. Here is his first touch. So for those just checking, Rittendale for Cisneros, Ian Cerro for Andres Farine. Naples with a much nervier final 15 minutes and change than they would have hoped for when they banged in 2 goals in first half stoppage time. Well, Papa Mensah has ensured it won't be smooth sailing. Cerro loses out. Heckenberg cleans up the mess. Fans, the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Here's Rittendale. Ball that is cleared out of danger before it can reach Henderlong. Breck Evans. Well, he gives this away, and it stays in play. Zeke Soto onto it. Low cross in. It's not dealt with just yet. Glasser does just enough to navigate out of danger before it reaches Marsh. Here's the cross in. Really finds a convoy of Greenville players. Robles onto it. Marsh picks out Connor Evans. Low cross deflects to Herrera. Back in and knocked out of danger before it can reach Siobhan Marsh. Naples handles the mad dash with relative comfort, all things considered. Patty. Marsh, 31 years of age. We know the magic he can conjure in scenarios like these. He has a knack for scoring late winners or equalizers. Just ask his teammates in Chattanooga. More changes on the way. Get another look at this decent set of interplay. A deflected cross from Connor Evans. Herrera playing it back into the 6-yard box. Jake Dengler, though, gets a boot in the mix. And now more reserves. The end of Jaden Onan's night, who's just making his second appearance since his return from injury. And Luca Perpa replaces Kevin O'Connor. So Pasnick for Onan, Perpa for O'Connor. Those 2 changes presented by Seminole Casino Hotel Immokalee, more in Paradise. Pasnick scored the last time these 2 teams met in the final day of group play in the Jägermeister Cup. Scored the opener inside 2 minutes at Paladin Stadium. Neither of these changes seem particularly defensive-minded. Kevin O'Connor is more of a classic box-to-box 8. Perpa, during his time in Chicago with Chicago Fire too, was more known for his time as a 10. On the other side of things, Rodrigo Robles, his night comes to a close. He's replaced by the former Monterey Bay man, Michael Gonzalez. That substitution also presented by Seminole Casino Hotel Immokalee, more in Paradise. Mensah. Connor Evans. Floats wide. Here is Zeke Soto. Patty. Evans nearly found Patty with the back heel. Instead it comes loose to Henderlong, who turns on the afterburners. Awaiting reinforcement, plays it across to Luca Purpa. Falls for Henderlong, deflected over the bar. Gunther Rankenberg with a solid stop to keep Greenville in it. Quick break. Henderlong does well to await reinforcements, and Purpa maybe just loses his footing. Ultimately, both efforts, it seemed, Rankenberg would have been equal to. Certainly had the first under wraps. Sets up Tyler Pasnick and company for another Anderson corner kick. Trust your home to Anderson. Well, the lights are shining bright now in Naples. Labada 239 in full force. A third would all but seal it. Pasnick within swing to the back post. Greg Evans can't create a memorable moment on his 26th birthday, at least as of now. It's one of the better fan bases in all of USL League One. They show out week to week consistently. Maybe a bit more nerves than they would have expected after seeing the halftime scoreline, but Rapapa Mensah's thrown a slight spinner in the works. Here's the cross from Soto. Beyond Mensah's reach. Marsh can't keep in. Another player down. It appears Lalo Delgado is receiving attention from our official. He is an experienced veteran of this league, and the last thing FC Naples wants is to see him impeded in any way. Seems like he'll try to walk it off. Benton, who's put in an admirable shift at right back so far. Linking with Marsh. The cross in. Dangler there. Herrera. Marsh runs in at Pasnick. They say play on. Across to Mensah. Trying to navigate through a sea of navy blue. Cerro with space the other way. Not the best return ball from Pasnick. Benton. Gonzalez, the substitute. Charges it to the back stick. Soto can't connect cleanly. Rittendale out of danger and fouled in the process by Connor Evans. And there is the first yellow card for either side brandished. The league's top chance creator in the book.
A yellow card has been issued to Greenville's number 18, Connor Evans. This yellow card brought to you by the law.
Well, that yellow card brought to you by the law offices of Mark L. Shapiro, big enough to handle serious cases, small enough to care. Take another peek Rittendale wins the foot race and then just slightly clipped by Connor Evans. Didn't appear there was much in that, but tackling an airborne player will always open you up to criticism. And more changes. This a defensive-minded swap for Matt Poland as he looks to shore things up. Mark Torres off. Rodolfo Sulia in his place is on. Sulia, the Puerto Rican international, scored 3 goals in 25 caps with El Huracan Azul. Now making his 12th league appearance of the season, the bulk of which have come as a late game reserve. Joined the club from Academia Quintanilla in Puerto Rican football. Academica Quintana, excuse me. Gonzalez. Ushering it wide to Siobhan Marsh. His touch takes him a little further to the byline than he would have hoped. Greenville continues to chase this. It's by no means out of reach. Herrera. We inch towards the final 5 minutes. Gonzalez. Does Greenville have a moment of magic in its locker? Patty. Breck Evans nods away. Connor Evans. Here's Henderlong. Upended. Referee says cleanly by Brandon Fricke. Benton. Low cross. Delgado off his line and did just enough to escort out of play. But a Greenville corner in the works. Another corner kick brought to you by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. You get another look at our Physicians Regional Healthcare System instant replay. Daring decision from Delgado. Works somewhat to his benefit. Does afford Connor Evans a chance to wreak havoc here, as once again you see corner kick is presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. Evans donning the captain's armband in Polak's stead. With outswing. Right into a thicket of bodies. Header was ultimately underwhelming. Herrera. Gonzalez. Naples stretched slightly here. Decent cross towards Mensah. Cross for Connor Evans. And now Greenville handling the one-man pressure a bit better from Henderlong. So often in the first half, they were overwhelmed by the sheer concentration of bodies surging their direction. It's prevented them from establishing a clear foothold in this possession-wise for a considerable bit of the match. Marsh. Lost his footing briefly. Soto. Paddy. Connor Evans floats it back in. Once again, knotted out of trouble. Henderlong touching it beyond a duo of defenders, and he does keep this in play. And Herrera with a well-timed tackle, and the two exchanging pleasantries here. Henderlong trying to create danger on the counter, and he takes issue with this challenge from Chapa Herrera, who does go in off 2 feet. Gets the bulk of the ball, it must be said. Henderlong, though, has been dealing with some ailment concerning his lower body through the bulk of the last 45. Well, fans, FC Naples has only 3 home games remaining before the playoffs, and the next one is Saturday the 27th against AV Alta. Get your tickets now before they run out. You heard it there. After this, just 3 home matches for Naples, a side that opened the year thick and fast at home and racked up results in a hurry. As Henderlong is booked for his reaction to Chapa Herrera's challenge. At this point, Greenville needs to throw resources forward with reckless abandon. Entering the final 90 seconds of the initial 90. Herrera. Marsh. These are the moments where he usually causes trouble. Soto. Picks out Gonzalez. Appetizing ball towards Benton. And he was offside anyways. And maybe is cramped up at the end of things. You've seen moments from Greenville, especially in the last 15. Sulia does well to intervene, because Benton was not far away from a free header by any means. And if there's one thing Greenville can't afford, it's more injury trouble at right back. They're largely at full force, with the exception of the 2 we spotlighted plus Toby Sims. But Sims being out for at least this evening renders Benton's position that much more important. He tries to walk this off, as we've now hit the 90-minute threshold. Stoppage time is presented by Tide Cleaners, and it is 6 minutes that separate us from full time here in Naples. Hackenberg. Shoved down by Herrera. And he may talk himself into the book here if he's not careful. Wright has talked about the passion in his midfield. Chapa Herrera, one of the peak examples of that. Does his utmost to try and win it back. Seemed displeased by the nature of the decision. Naples will be in no rush to take this set piece. Pasnick and Perpa over it. 3-man wall for Greenville. Pasnick goes for goal right into the wall. Perpa. Back for Pasnick, the Scotsman. Serral. Last thing stand, it's been a game effort, especially since Mensah's tally. Greenville has by no means taken it over. Naples keeping them honest on the break, and it's never felt like they've been properly troubled since Mensah's goal. As Henderlong is now fouled. A towering presence that makes his mark on every fixture he touches. A trio of Naples players, at least contemplating this. Cerro now moving away. Henderlong and Perpa in the vicinity. And it may be destination corner flag from here on out. Now you're beginning to see the frustration throughout the Greenville side, on the verge of suffering a third consecutive defeat. Every decision that doesn't go their way at this stage will understandably sting more and more. A squad that suffered heartbreaking defeats to the likes of Texoma, as well as Wednesday night against Portland. Rick Wright called it devastating. The game can be cruel. Here tonight, I don't think any would argue that they've been better than their hosts. I wonder if, from a Greenville perspective, if the footballing gods will come back around and bless them the other direction. Bob doesn't run this down in time. And now, 2/3 of the way through stoppage time, it is now or never for Greenville. Herrera plays it forward. There are numbers for Greenville now. Gonzalez with space to cross. Benton. Back out to Soto. He's trying to carve out the angle and instead wins a corner. Corner kick presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. And it is a last gasp effort now for Greenville into the final minute of the added 6. And they continue to chase some semblance of a result from this. Taken without swing into the thicket of bodies. Tame for Delgado. That was not the effort Greenville was hoping for. Delgado stayed on his line, and the gamble paid considerable dividends. Is there time for one final sojourn forward for Greenville? Driven ahead. This is Benton with options. Cut across and charged out of play before it can reach Mensah. One final corner perhaps before all is said and done. As always, you see Greenville with numbers here. Benton has a number of options in white. He opts for Mensah and just narrowly misses as this corner kick is presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. Outswinger from Connor Evans. Rankenberg off his line now, in the mix of everything. Patty drives it in. And there is the whistle. Full time here in Naples, and FC Naples has ushered it over the line. Now 9 unbeaten in league play and establishing much needed separation between themselves and the playoff cut line. Rick Wright and company have seen their plight get even more perilous. A squad that now sits 3 points beneath the playoff line. As you get your look at the man of the match, Carson Henderlong, presented by Waste Management. His goal providing the opener, and once again, the point of difference for Matt Pullen and company as they notch another hard-fought result here at home. It's now time for our play of the match. And you get a look at the Cisneros goal, our play of the match. A half volley, terrific hit that just squeezes underneath the goalkeeper in Rankenberg. That play of the match presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System. Care for every goal. And then our save of the match, the lone major stop Lalo Delgado had to make in the first half, and it's presented by Carter Fence, Quality Fence's trusted service for over 35 years. You see Polak here forced wide. Delgado there at his near post to catch it and prevent it from going out for a quarter. Well, that is where things finish after 90 minutes. Matt Pullen's side notching another 3 points at home. Now 9 unbeaten in league play and just 6 points off the top of the table. We'll step aside when we return to look back at the 90 minutes that just transpired. Stick with us. Once again to the near post, and it's Henderlong again. He is a set-piece madman.
Here on Florida's Paradise Coast, you can play your way. Whether you prefer an action-packed court, a leisurely round of golf, or the thrill of watching a professional soccer match, your only challenge is finding a way to do it all. So visit a luxurious playground that scores big for everything from its award-winning beaches to its incredible restaurants. Because when you want a vacation where all is perfect, only Paradise will do. Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades.
We welcome you back here from Naples, where at the end of 90 minutes, FC Naples notches another 3 points at home. Matt Pullen and company now sit 12 points clear of the playoff line after they win 2-1. The full-time score presented by Arthrex. It's now time to get a look at our full-time highlights, and it is presented by the Maxwell Mortgage Team, financing the world one loan at a time. And in this one, it was a fast stoppage time period for FC Naples. Andres Farine picking this up after a cagey first half, plays it to the back post, and who's there but Carson Henderlong to establish himself alone atop the Golden Boot race with his 12th goal of the year. A Trivella cross, a ferocious finish, and Carson Henderlong makes it a third in 2 matches for Naples. And then they weren't done, because 9 minutes after the 45-minute threshold into stoppage time, Julian Cisneros added another on the half volley. He's no stranger to finishes like these. Provided one at Avialta in mid-July. He does so again here against Greenville as he squirts it underneath Gunther Rankenberg to make it 2-0. But Greenville did have a response in its locker. We saw moments, again, there were chances for Naples on the counter. Missed the best of the second half. A cross coming in from Glasser to the back post, headed over, and then there was a response from Greenville on 66 minutes. A low cross. Mensah does well to just stick with this. Greenville scrapping a number of second and third balls, and Mensah on the half volley, bashing it beyond the reach of Delgado. There was a lifeline for Greenville, but unable to capitalize after that scintillating strike from Mopapa Mensah. In the 79th minute, there were moments. Naples on the break. Perpa has this effort denied by Rankenberg, and then the effort from Henderlong deflected over the bar. Those are the only moments to write home about in the closing stages. You look at our full-time stats, which are presented by Arthrex. Does an injury have you benched? Explore orthopedic treatment options at orthopedia.com, powered by Arthrex. And while Greenville totally flips the possession battle on its head after having only about 43% of the ball in the first half, very little to show for it. Only 7 shots, 3 of which find target. Naples, meanwhile, doubling them up in virtually every important category, and most importantly, doubling them up in goals, finishing 2-1 victors and notching their first ever victory over Greenville at the third time of asking. Well, that is where things finish here from Naples, where FC Naples logs another victory at home. Now 9 unbeaten in league play. They climb 12 points clear of the playoff cut line. Greenville, meanwhile, 3 points south of that playoff line at this key juncture of the season. For our terrific crew, I'm Sam Goldfarb saying so long, where Naples wins 2-1. Have a great rest of your night, everyone.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.